Wyan came back from the bathroom wrapped in a towel and saw Jungkook lying on her bed with his hands under his head. Wyan panicked and wasn't able to believe her eyes, so she asked, "How did you get in here? And what are you doing here in my room?" she said, sounding scared. When Jungkook said that, Wyan started to shake on her spot. She clutched tightly on the hem of her towel and looked at Jungkook's direction. "Come here," he said, patting on his lap with a stern voice. "Wyan, you already know that if I'll come, then it'll be more painful. So come here fast," he said, closing his eyes, releasing a sigh. "Jungkook, if you don't leave, then I'll shout," she said, shivering a bit. "I already know that I'm not going to shout because I don't want to let my mom know about all of this, as she's already not well today and Jungkook can harm anyone on this damned earth." Without arguing further, I sat on his lap as he pulled me closer to his chest, keeping his lips on my bare shoulder and neck. He inhaled me deeply as one of his hands was on my waist and another on my shoulder. I was in primary school back then. My friend told me that today a transfer student is going to come to our class. I was excited to meet the new student of our class when teacher entered along with a boy. He was so cute. His eyes were deep like ocean and cheeks were chubby with pinkish tint on them. Though he had no smile on his face, his style was really attractive at that little age. "Hi everyone, this is Jungkook. Don't mess with me," he said with a straight face while everyone thought of him as a cool guy, including me. After introducing himself, he looked around in class and his eyes landed on me. He stared at me deeply for a minute. It was already few months since Jungkook joined the school. He made few friends and was famous in the school. We never had a talk. It was a fine day and I was entering the cafeteria with a glass of juice in my hands. Suddenly, I bumped into Jungkook and all my juice spilled over his shirt. I got scared and looked up to apologize. "Sorry, Jungkook, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to do it." "Can't you see where you're moving? Are you dumb?" he said, shouting. Tears started to drop from my eyes as everyone was looking at us and laughing at me. I stood up and said, "I said I'm sorry, but you also did not look around while walking." "Oh, really? You nerdy, it's your fault." When Jungkook said that, everyone started laughing so hard at me. I felt so embarrassed, that's why I got up and ran from there. When once a group of boys tried to bully me by throwing my bag here and there, Jungkook saved me from them. He beated them harshly and after that day he became my hero for saving me. But he asked me to not to talk to anyone else but only him. He made me do all his works and bullied me too by saying harsh words and overall he gained full control over me. I used to follow him everywhere like a bodyguard. He never hurted me physically, but he bullied me by words and blackmailing me about stuffs. It's not like I did not tell about it to my parents, but my mother said that getting bullied is part of school life and eventually it will stop. But my parents were quite rich, so when I asked them to transfer, they said, I study in the best school of the city, and changing school will affect my studies. But they did not know that my studies are already affected because of Jungkook, and unfortunately, I spent whole middle school with him getting bullied. It was end of the semester of high school, and I was standing on the entrance of a prom party held in our school. Actually, I was forced to go into this party, and my mom did so. She wanted me to go out and experience parties and stuffs as I never go into a party. I was so nervous as I knew Jungkook would be present there too. I sighed heavily and walked inside. As I walked in, I was able to feel everyone's eyes on me. I knew I was looking pretty, as I myself was shocked after looking at my reflection in the mirror. I was wearing lens instead of glasses, and my white long neck was complementing my whole look. I walked and sat in corner where I was barely visible, and I was never a social person, and I wanted no one to approach me, and mainly I wanted Jungkook to not find me. They started introducing themselves to me one by one. I was utterly shocked. This was first time someone approached me. Reasons can be that Jungkook never allowed me to talk to anyone, and I was not so good looking nerd because I made myself to look so. After a few minutes, those girls left, and again I was left alone. But not long after, the captain of Jungkook's opponent team of basketball came and said to me, Hi, you're Ryan, right? He said, beaming a smile. Yes, I am. Well, I must say that you're looking really ethereal today, Ryan. I noticed you quite a time in the school campus, but never dared to approach you. After I said that, he smiled shyly, and then we continued to talk for long. I was pulled in an empty hallway, obviously by Jungkook. I was scared, and the thing that was scaring me more is that there was not a single human present here. I faced Jungkook and said, What are you doing? Are you crazy? Why you pulled me in here? He said nothing, just came towards me and trapped me between his arms, where my breath hicced as it was first time he was doing something like this. He said nothing further, just attached his lips to mine. I was so shocked. I never imagined him to. He parted after 2 good minutes. My eyes were teary. He held in my face between his palm and said, You don't need to cry, just get habitual. The next day, when I went to school, I found out that Jungkook had transferred to a different school because of his family's business issues. Most of part of me was happy, but not to lie. I was a little sad because I was used to his presence. These thoughts were going in my mind while Jungkook was. I was so lost into him and my thoughts that when I regained my consciousness, I felt that he had put a knife on my neck. How much ever you pretend, I know that you like my touches and I'm here not to punish you in a way that will give you pleasure. Let's save it for later. And now, tell me, for what I'm punishing you? He said, bringing his knife closer to Ian's skin. It's good that you know, and now you should also know that if you again repeat this thing, I'm not going to leave you without punishment that gives pleasure. But you'll get no pleasure in that too, he said, smirking. I decided not to deny and awaken the beast and just attached my lips to his. He pulled my neck closer and he was gone while leaving me crying alone while snuggling into my pillow. My head was hurting like hell and so was my heart and pride, thinking that how coward I am